morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. Yes, the weather this morning, well, it's unsettled. You know, this spring is not as nice as last spring from what I remember. Hey, but at least it's spring. Better than winter. Now, our sunrise this morning, at first I thought, hey, this might be nice. And I've got a time lapse going on here that's about sped up 200 times, I think, maybe 300 times. And our walkers came by, yeah. Okay. I'm guessing about 5 minutes ago I started perusing through the painting and marking guide to find out if I had the paints that I need to paint this desk here, and yes I do. So we got that. And also, do I have the right color to paint the top of this? This apparently is a sort of a chart table or something like that, according to somebody who seemed to know. What I'll do is I'll get the camera over here and I'll position you down so that you can actually see the painting and marking guide. There's yeah, this one is showing here. Well, you know what? I'll just do it instead of telling you what I'm going to do. Then the plan is to try and get some of these many pieces dropped down on this deck. They're painted a slightly different shade of gray now, so they should stand out. Especially if we get enough LED lights going on inside this module. Yeah, it should show up. And yeah, I don't have a whole lot of news this morning. I think we should just sort of get right into it. I have no big plans about what's going to happen today. Oh, yesterday's motorcycle ride. It was, the second one was nice, and the first one I screwed up on the GoPro again. I had hooked my extra battery into it, and somehow I must have done something wrong because it didn't keep going, and so yeah, I'll probably redo that run because I went someplace where I'd never gone before. Okay, enough about the motorcycle. Enough about the sunrise. Let's reposition here and take a look at our painting and marking guide. We'll start out right here on this larger section. Oh my goodness, is that ever dark? I'm gonna have to open the lens up to get that to come out. And maybe in post I'll I'll enhance the HDR. Those of you who are into video processing, you'll know what I'm talking about. And we should be able to see it because right now this almost looks black. But I think we can make it look brown because it is supposed to be brown. I think it's supposed to be this brown right here. Okay, let's recompose here. Okay, this is the little part that we're going to want to paint. And this top piece here is supposed to be green. And this part here that has those boxes go on is supposed to be brown. Now what I'm going to try and do here is override the auto ISO and overexpose it, and hopefully you're going to be able to see right here where this is going to come, it's going to show that it's brown. Not that anybody cares, but let's try it and see if it works. Okay, I think I've overexposed it too much there. I've overexposed it a full 3 stops. I'm just going to back it off. Okay, it's about 2 stops overexposed there for those of you who are camera buffs. And you can see that's supposed to be brown. Yeah, it's supposed to be, what is it, the 37, which is this one right here. Okay, now this one shows up a lot better. It's actually this piece right here. And we got to paint the top of that with the 310, which is this one. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Yeah, how are you doing? So, how's it going today?
Okay. I'll see if I can get to the gym this morning. How was your night?
It was alright. Yeah, it was okay.
Is it motorcycling day?
I don't think so. It looks like we're going to get rain.
There's not too much on the radar right now. It almost seems like lake effect down out in the northwest. I was looking at tornado videos on YouTube today. It showed an F5 going through Eli, west of Winnipeg in 2002.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was pretty dramatic.
Yeah, I saw one where the tornado actually picked up a pickup truck.
Yeah. Eli, it showed a house being picked up, snatched off the ground and torn to pieces in the air. There was something. And they have tornado warnings in Philadelphia and Baltimore.
Oh my God.
That seems unusual. Right?
Yeah. Well, there's a change in the weather system. Oh yeah, it's garbage day here in Winnipeg today. Every Monday. Okay. Well, we've seen Missy the dog. And the reason I put this on a rotator is because when I paint a surface like this, I like to sort of drag the brush towards me. Let me get a brush here. Probably going to use this wide one. Maybe this is too wide. And what I like to do is I'll put the brush on the more or less in the center, and I will pull towards the edge instead of coming from the edge to the center, because what happens is I'm kind of in effect cleaning my brush off and it'll run down the sides. So I have better luck doing it like that, and that way I can go like this and then turn it and pull it towards me. I feel more comfortable than if I go like this. Although, I suppose this would work too. Okay, let's slip on our macro lens here and move right in. Okay, I have just stirred and then shook this in the paint shaker. And what I've got here is a brand new brush that Gabe gave us when he was here. I think maybe the first time he was here. And I haven't used it because it's brand new and you sort of hate to, but here we go. I don't want to get it too thick. And I want to go from the center off the side like that. And that way, hopefully, it's not gonna run. Okay, I'm gonna need to do 2 coats. This paint has been thinned. Got little bubbles going on there. Oh, that's too much in my brush. Trying not to get it to go over the edge. Yeah, this one's working better. Yeah, maybe I'll let this dry and give it another coat here. Trying to keep it on the top. Now there may be a better way of doing this. It's probably called masking off the edges and spraying it. Now, speaking of spraying, Jason has episode number 4 out of his airbrushing tutorials, and he's talking about priming and stuff like that. Oh, I went a little bit too much over the edge there. No, we're not going to see that. Okay, let's see if I can get rid of that bubble there. Oh no, it's starting to... No, you see what I did? I should have left it alone. I don't know if I can fix that up or not. Let's see if I can rehydrate that. Okay, let's just leave that alone now. We can give it another coat. Okay, now the other brown that we have to use, I can't remember the number of it, will be for the other piece. And not a whole lot of that is going to be visible, so we don't need to paint the whole thing. Okay, I gave this a second coat. And what I did to dry the first coat was I used the heat gun a little bit to rush things. And that way I didn't have to clean the paintbrush. But speaking of paintbrushes, Gabe, I want you to know that I did my best to clean out your brush here. It's not like brand new anymore, but I think we can get another usage out of it. Now for this piece, which basically only needs the front here, the 37, and maybe the underside of the desktop. Yeah, the underside of the desktop might possibly be seen, but I doubt very much if we're going to be seeing the back of anything. It's going to sort of be up against the back of the bulkhead. But I think the smart thing to do might be to take out half an hour and just spray the whole thing with the 37 here, and then paint the top. Maybe mask it off and spray the top, the green. It might look the best. It would, I wouldn't be getting those little bubbles, if you know what I mean. I'm just sort of thinking out loud here. Okay, we're going to try something a little bit different here. Different in that I don't think I have ever videoed spraying being done with the spray booth over on this end of the hobby table, almost falling on the floor. Well, I do have it weighted down on that end. You just can't see it. I don't think it's going to fall over. Now what I've done is I've stirred and shaken my 37 here. And another thing I'm going to do that I might have done once before is I'm using the small cup here. I'm not going to use the larger ones that have caps. So okay, now this is very full. When I thinned it, I must have really thinned it out heavily. I'll use this one here. It's kind of stained already. And I would think that's probably all we're going to need. Oh, you know what? I didn't filter it. I hope there's no little particles in there that are going to plug the needle. I don't think there is, but if, Murphy's Law. And put that in the garbage down there. Get the lid back on here. One thing, I think I may have mentioned this before, but if you've got one of these things you can't get the lid off, I find that if I turn my heat gun up to about 240 degrees and heat around the edge, it comes off real easy. Okay, now let's remember, you don't have the cap on there. And maybe I'll take the nozzle tip off just in case. Give it all the help it can get here. Now we'll carefully put this back in so we don't damage the end of the needle. Alright, like that. And once again, we'll try and keep it underneath my little red marker there, because what I'm planning to do is move right in. At least that's the plan. Okay, now get our fan going. Okay, I think that's going to be alright. It's going to be a lot better than if I tried to do it with a paintbrush. You know what? I think I'm going to blame Jason for this, because after watching his airbrushing tutorials, it makes me want to airbrush. Now I know that the back is not going to be seen, but at least I don't think it's going to be. But at least now, if it is seen, it doesn't matter. Okay, I think we basically got it here. Okay, I'm just going to clean everything up, and then we'll let this dry. And let me zoom you back out here. Okay, we'll let this dry, and then what I plan to do is to sort of mask along the edge and spray the top with the green. But that probably won't be today now. Yeah, I noticed the sun is trying to come out. You know what that means, right? Okay, here's the thing. The airbrush does a much superior job. Be prepared to spend well, it takes me, at the rate I go at it, around 20 minutes to clean up afterwards. Whereas a paintbrush, you just sort of rinse it out, and in 30 seconds you're done. Also, be prepared to use a lot more paint. A lot more paint. Unless you're painting something really big. Stuff that is really small, like for instance, say the ladder, where a lot of your paint is going to pass right through. Okay? Now paint is not that expensive, and it's not like it uses, liters and liters and liters of paint. It just uses more, depending on what you're painting. I would say this part here, I probably could have painted the whole thing and used a third as much paint, because there was a certain amount of mist blowing past it. When you spray off the edge and then come back, everything that goes off the edge, well, it passes by. Okay, I think I beat that to death. It does a much better job, though. It's one coat here and we're done, and I'm not primed or anything, so it's much smoother than if I tried to do it with, and more thorough than if I tried to do it with the brush. Now when we glue these 3 little boxes on there, they're just going to, just jump right out. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be viewing this thing like this. Like this is the top of the desk, which we're going to later paint green. I'm not 100% sure yet how I'm going to do it. I think maybe I'll just put masking tape all the way around along the edge here so I don't spoil this brown on the edge, which is only about a millimeter deep, but it may as well preserve it. And I think we could probably do it. But like I mentioned earlier, that won't be today. That's going to have to be tomorrow. I was mentioning the sun is coming out. Well, the sun's been coming and going for about the last hour. I haven't checked the radar yet. No promises on a motorcycle ride today. Well, we'll see what happens later on when I get all wound up here and get today's episode uploaded onto YouTube. I'm going to call her quits though. It's almost 1 o'clock. Did not get as much done as I thought. I had thought we were going to have these little parts drop down, but we got sidetracked with painting, didn't we? Yeah. And this piece here that I put the second coat on, well, that, you know, at arm's length it looks really good. But yeah, it's not bad. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. All doing well. We're gonna see you tomorrow.